Let's talk about FTX. Was Shaquille O'Neal served the other day at a NBA Conference Finals game? Let's take a look at this video from the game itself.
You're my favorite player. I just want to say congratulations, my brother, and thanks for getting me in trouble. Don't say nothing. Yeah, be quiet.
That's a video from the Western Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Miami Heat. This video is just serving up some speculation about Shaq and FTX, and also another project called Astrals, an NFT project that Shaquille O'Neal was involved with. According to the Wall Street Journal, Shaquille O'Neal was successfully served FTX paperwork at this game, and it's speculated that Seth Curry, who was also involved in this whole debacle with FTX and promoting it, was also in a conversation here live on TV with Shaq. Zach, this was a great story. This is the sports corner we've been waiting for months, and it came back up.
Iconic, absolutely iconic. Talk about the value of a good brand ambassador. When Steph Curry is passing the rock to Shaquille O'Neal to get him involved in what ended up being one of the greatest scams, allegedly, in crypto history. Absolutely amazing, and we get to watch it roll out in real time. I don't know, I'm a little bit suspect about this lawyer team that's been trying to serve Shaq. They sort of claimed mission accomplished, and then later it became revealed that they just threw the papers at his car as he was driving away, and he disputed that as being properly served his due process. So I'm going to need some photographic evidence. Maybe it's out there on Twitter of, this process server who, according to the story, bought a ticket to the game, walked up to where Shaq was doing his TV show, and gave him his papers. I want to see some proof of that, because the lawyer who's been telling this story in the past, I think has been a bit, liberal in his interpretation of what qualifies as getting served. So I am withholding judgment there, but this to me just is an utterly fascinating story about the upper echelons of crypto and celebrity and the legal process when it all goes south. So anyway, just a really funny moment. Will, I'm glad you highlighted it.
Yeah, this is like a Curb Your Enthusiasm storyline here. And Zach, to your point, I was reading on Pro Football Talk earlier today about this whole episode, and apparently a fan at the game was able to know that Shaq was there at the game previous and that he'd be at the next game, and was able to snipe a photo of Shaq with the FTX paperwork in front of him. The image was not linked on the story, but apparently the lawyer team does have that image proving that he was indeed served at the former FTX arena.
Oh, it's just there's so much going on. It's just so amazing. The arena that was emblazoned with FTX and had its name on it even after the shameful collapse of this crypto empire. Oh, you couldn't write a better storyline. The fact that it went down right there, amazing.
It's so good.
And we have to say, so that person who served the papers, who bought the ticket to the game and served Shaq, who served Shaq the papers, he later got kicked out at Shaq's request after he was served the papers. And they're just like, every paragraph of this story is just another layer of laughter for me. But the one serious thing I think that we can take away from this story before I pass it off to Adam is the role that celebrities are going to play in crypto moving forward, right? Because Shaq's main defense here is, I was just paid to be a part of the advertisement. I didn't have anything else to do with it. And I think when it comes to regulated things, there are certain rules and guidelines you have to follow. And we're not sure if Shaq did, and we'll have to see what this class action lawsuit brings to light. But Adam, what do you think?
I think that it's not really fair to characterize this as a situation that's similar to what we've seen with, past examples, like the infamous Kim Kardashian, one with Ethereum Max, right? Like, the whole point about those is that those were not obviously advertisements. They were effectively undisclosed, and the assets themselves are viewed by the regulator as a form of a security. And so because of that, it's pretty distinctly different than, again, paying a celebrity to be on an advertisement talking about a company that is actually a legitimate, at least on its surface, company. So I think that, again, like the collapse of FTX and the collapse of a lot of these things creates these sort of giant waves that create opportunity for people who are either legitimately disenfranchised by whatever happened, as in the case of folks who used FTX and now have funds trapped inside, and also lawyers, and people who see, hey, I can drag somebody into this and I can make it so that their best move is just to pay me to go away, so I stop associating with them with this terrible thing that everybody's talking about. I'm not saying that's what what's happening here. But I am saying that there are some distinct points of difference between this and other examples we've seen in the token world specifically that make me really want to wait on this one just to kind of see how it plays out and see if there really is some merit to this case. Will?
Yeah, no, I think you're right on this one. I think like Shaq and the other people who are involved with FTX, I mean, there's a lot of people who are involved with FTX, and I think they're like legitimate parties that didn't know. And how would you know, right? Like you have to do a lot of due diligence. But that was the whole story with Taylor Swift a few months ago, right? Where her lawyers and her advertising team were like, hey, you should probably pass on this. And I guess Taylor Swift had the nose to sniff it out beforehand, but no one else did. And so she gets all the praise she deserves, but Shaq and Tom Brady and Steph Curry are going to get all the criticisms they maybe don't quite deserve. It's really hard to know, and no one really knew until, again, CoinDesk actually broke that story, and we found out all the misdeeds and improper actions that FTX was undertaking. Now we have Sam Bankman-Fried living in his parents' basement in California, awaiting trial in October. So I don't think we can put Shaq on trial, but I do think that we can put this whole surveying case on trial and say it's an A+ in terms of drama and comedy, because it has been awesome. I hope there's more details that come out in the near future.